Welcome to the lecture on international assistance in post-conflict context. External support is needed in the post-conflict societies, but it can create aid dependencies. Countries' economies may largely depend on foreign aid and investment, while their own economic sustainability is unattainable. For example, East Timor, a newly established state that emerged in 2002 after a long period of conflict, built its economy around a huge UN mission with executive powers. Many small and private businesses lived on the income of the UN staffers, and when they pulled out, the country found itself on the brink of war. Security conditions may deteriorate if reconstruction work funded by the international agencies is not done properly and with a long-term strategy. Because of the lack of long-term strategy, infighting started after the mission pulled out in East Timor. Political and economic aspects need to be integrated in peacebuilding. Billions of dollars were invested in Afghanistan and Iraq for building schools and hospitals, but many of them were left empty because they were considered American or people were afraid of Taliban retaliation. Investing in economy and infrastructure has to go hand in hand with the local understanding and processes. Western countries seem to be more prone to give resources and aid in providing weapons and military support, rather than financing for peace and preventive action. This may be a root of problem. One of the exceptions is the case of Macedonia. Until the hostilities of 2001 between ethnic Albanian rebels and Macedonian government, Macedonia had managed to remain virtually unsullied by the violent ethnic conflicts of its Balkans sister states. The UN's deployment of troops to Macedonia from 1992 to 1999 played a key role in preventing a spillover of violence from Macedonia's Balkan sister states. The UN peacekeeping mission in Macedonia, UNPREDEP, in 1995 to 1999 was the first UN preventive mission. There is no quick fixes, and the risk to reversion to conflict is present, especially in the first decade after the conflict. Elections cannot be seen as an exit strategy anymore. They may often create new problems because one side is always excluded. Security and economic development should go hand in hand. There needs to be a shift of mentality from zero-sum to positive-sum thinking, which means that one cannot gain if one puts the other down, but one can only gain if they both can grow together. We need to think of a long-term strategy. For aid to be more effective, we need better coordination among key actors: Security Council, donors, and local governments. Peacekeeping works, but it should be thought of as a long-term commitment. Post-conflict recovery takes at least a decade of dedicated investment. Local government needs time to implement its reform agenda, new economic policies, and new mentality of inclusiveness. Three actors need to set their expectations of mutual commitments and recognize interdependence. Three critical factors for post-conflict reconstruction are jobs, improvement in basic services, and government reforms. In the aftermath of war, there is a large number of young men with weapons that need employment. They need to be engaged in construction sector and restoration of public infrastructure. If they do not have jobs, there is a strong possibility that they may turn to violence. Agencies need to be accountable, whether they are NGOs, government, or international organizations. Providing basic services is a way to get legitimate support and participation of citizens. Donors should not fund predatory and corrupted elites because most of money ends up in private pockets. For international assistance to be truly effective, donors need to provide scrutiny and to follow money distribution to the government. Thanks for listening.